everybody, and welcome to the Bailey There podcast. We got a loaded show. Training camp is here. Caleb has goals. Jaylon wants money. And we got some new signees and a whole bunch of nuggets to drop on you right after this. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to 4-Star Chicago Sports. This is the Barely There podcast, and as usual, I got Jason and Kyle in the house. Boys, we got to be really excited because training camp just opened today. It's like a holiday, right?
It is. It's the start of the new year.
Oh, we got Scott Angel in the house, Phil in the house, Bruce in the house, and I think Polish Thunder 57.
Polish Thunder 57's banging the drums.
That's my favorite guy.
So, boys, there's so much to go over here. The first practice started. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to have fun along the way. Chat, jump in. You guys want to head in a different direction? You want to talk to us? You want to bring something up? Bring it up. We're going to follow you. We're going to talk about it. So, but let's get into what happened today. Today, their first actually, let's get some nuggets out of the way. The Bears made an addition, a couple additions. They signed, help me out here, Tane Passanyer today, a defensive end. He spent some time in New Orleans with Dennis Allen. He's very familiar with them. 16 and a half sacks in 8 years, 141 tackles, 94 solo, 47 assisted, 22 tackles for loss, and 42 quarterback hits. I know we all wanted Zadarius Smith, but it looks like this guy could be the answer, or he could be a body filler. Passanyer and Flowers were assigned 69 and 37 today by the Bears. We'll see if both of these guys make the roster. I think Passanyer does. I don't know about Flowers. We'll see. More of a.
Sean, do you want to address the comment?
Well, I missed it. Listen, that's some bullshit, guys. That's some bullshit. I actually text Ryan and I sent him a picture when I got up there and said, just so you know, shots are fired. I will be paying him back for this.
For those of you who don't know, Sean was playing darts upstairs at River Street Tavern, our finest sponsor, on Tuesday, and one of his buddies took his keys and moved his truck to the top parking garage, and Sean freaked out. Jay was going to punch you in the face.
I thought it was Jason. I was like, I'm going to kill Jay. Because you came back running around the building all out of breath, and my truck is gone. So I'm like, Jason, move my truck. I'm like, I'm going to kill this guy. So what's going on, Ron? Thanks for jumping in, bud.
DJ Prophet has joined the show. Ron's with us. Appreciate you guys so much. Please feel free to leave comments, guys. We're going to go wherever this show takes us today. No fantasy today, no betting. Yep. Let's talk some Chicago Bears.
Yeah, and let's unload some news really quick, and we're going to talk about this, but I'm just going to run through a few things that happened, and then we're going to break them down. No Luther Burden, no Zay Flowers. We got a little video. Luther Burden is working out inside the Walter Payton Center, so he seems to be getting closer. Nashawn Wright was in with the ones today. He was in place of the injured Jaylon Johnson. We're going to get into that in just a little bit as well. Once they went to full team, Ozzie Tropilo got the first crack with the ones. Braxton Jones was out there, and so was Karama Magaji at all three. We're going to get into that battle in just a little bit as well. So let's just start talking about this, because this is something that, we are all injured. Ryan Poles came out yesterday and said both veterans, Braxton Jones and Colston Loveland, the fractured ankle for Jones, the shoulder for Loveland, we're both ready to go. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. He also said Jaylon Johnson had a leg injury he suffered working out. He would be out a little bit. I heard about 2 weeks. I don't know if anyone else heard anything different, but that's what I heard. So, guys, what's up? What's up, Phil? You said, hey, guys, real quick, what you got, boss? Talk to me.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
So I'm really interested because I was actually I was watching as much training camp as I could today through the lens of some of the analysts that were there, and I saw Trapilo and Braxton Jones on one-on-one drills, and Jones pushing him up the field. Obviously, Jones got to work off some rest. Guys, we talked about this all through camp. Day one opens. Ozzy Trapilo is there with the starters. Looks really good. Like he has some really good movement in those legs laterally. When you saw him today, he's moving. I know it's day one. I don't want to jump into too much and get all crazy about it. But how do you guys feel about seeing that on day one?
Well, real quick, guys, Ron and Bears fan for life pretty much say the same thing here. They said they heard Ben was really hard at training camp or really hard in the office today.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we heard as well, Phil.
Which is a good thing, Phil. I mean, you want if you want to be coached hard, like all these players said they wanted last year, and they're happy to have this year, then they got to get coached hard. Most of that stuff was like pre-snap, procedural, offsides, lining up in the wrong spot, like Cole Kmet got yelled at for in the mini camps. All that pre-snap stuff, like he said in his interview, or I'm sorry, in his presser, Ben Johnson said that's like it's our weapon. That's how we hide and disguise everything that we do. So everything pre-snap has to be exact. There's no half-assing it, which is good. I mean, guys are going to get used to it, and that's what's going to make them try harder, especially when they see, your starting quarterback going out. Like, oh, shit, you know what? I better pay attention as well. So that's good. I think it's nothing but good news for a football team, for any team, really, for that matter.
Yeah, and today during practice, it did come out that Ben Johnson was verbally and visibly upset at 7-on-7 drills with Caleb Williams and the first team offense, yelled at them a couple of times and then kicked them off the field. So if you listened to him yesterday, he said this is what's going to happen. Installation, the first couple weeks are going to be rocky. He even used his hand signal, said it's going to be up, it's going to be down. We're going to have pre-snap issues. We're going to have a whole bunch of different things that are going to go on when we get this installation. I'm not going to freak out. I don't know where you guys are. I'm not going to freak out yet. We were talking about this backstage. In 3 weeks, if this is still happening in 3 weeks, man, I'm going to start freaking out a little bit because this is going to start to fall on Caleb Williams not getting the offense together. But one day, an hour and 45-minute practice, I'm not freaking out yet. I don't know where you guys are.
I just don't want to see it in the actual season. That's all.
There's no better day to instill expectations and implement standards than day one of practice, right? I think the longer we get into this training camp, the longer this goes, I think the more you'll see Ben Johnson settle down, especially the more that these guys get comfortable and they quit making mistakes. But yeah, early and often, he should be yelling at them as much as possible to let him know he is the boss. And if there's going to be repercussions, and this is what Bears fans have been asking for the last 10 years. And this is what the Bears players themselves were asked for last year. And, when they talked to Caleb Williams in his presser, they asked him about how hard Ben Johnson was on him. And he said, listen, outside of Matt Eberflus, he didn't say that, but I'm assuming he insinuated that. I have been coach hard my entire career, from high school, college, NFL. I've always been coach hard. I love it. I love that they expect nothing but perfection from me, and I look forward to working with Ben. And he said he's been hanging out with him in the office, talking about stuff outside of football. They're getting to build a relationship. I think this is best case scenario for the Chicago Bears. Everything I'm reading out of training camp so far, at least, excluding Luther Burden. And we'll get into that later.
Yeah, and for some of the things that I'm taking away is just some growth in Caleb Williams and listening to Caleb talk, and some of the things that we're taking away, things that kind of show his leadership. I'm going to play a couple of clips here from Caleb that were some of my favorite takeaways from him. If you guys have any, please let me know.
He joked. My favorite thing was when he was talking about having that time with Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
He snuck in there. We were talking about football too. Now let's not make that a thing.
All right, let's count how many times he says,
That lead, encourage, and part of that is leading by example. And the other half is, when things are, messing up, or, like I said, people are complaining. I'm complaining, like fixing that mindset, because that's a big part of our success is our mindset. So being able to fix those things, and then we were just outside. Being able to fix those things and progress. That's key for what we have and what we got. Like I said, the race and being able to be ready for first. Feel awesome. We went and got Colston and Cow and Ozzy, and I can keep going, Luther and all these different guys. in the draft. And obviously we had a couple free agents, which are big. We had a couple, big guys come up front, a legendary guard, and Joe. And obviously we all know his stats and all, what he's been able to do for his career. And then other than that, we got Drew and Jonah, and we brought in a bunch of guys, wide receivers, and brought some guys back, brought some new guys. So infrastructure-wise, coaches, I think we're all excited, but excitement does nothing. My footwork, and that lining up with the play, and that helps accelerate the clock for me. The other part is being decisive. And making a decision, and then the other part is also taking what the defense gives me, not trying to find that big play every time, and be the young cat and want to go and get that big play, big scramble play or anything like that. Sometimes it's just the check down over the ball, the flat, the second read that may not be something more than 5 yards.
17.
That's I got 19. 19, 19, bro.
Here, I'll tell you this. That was one of the things that made me the most excited was they're helping him recognize his mistakes. We all said this last year. He didn't simplify things enough for himself. And hearing him say, man, I'm going to take what the defense gives me. I'm going to take that check down this year. That's going to help with his goals. And what were his goals? What did he say he wanted to do this year? 70% passing completion or completion percentage and 4,000 yards passing. Now, guys, I'm going to ask you this. This is a pretty big jump because this guy was 351 for 562 last year, 62.5% completion rating. There was only 5 quarterbacks in the league that had a 70% completion percentage last year. It was Tua, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, Joe Burrow, and Geno Smith. So he's aiming to be a top 5 passing completion quarterback. That's a massive jump in one season. Boys, give me some thoughts on this. What do you think? Can he reach these goals? Chat, chime in. Do you guys think he can reach these goals? Talk to us.
I think he can. I don't think it's any coincidence that just so happens to be top 5 guys we're doing that, because I'm bet he wants to be a top 5 quarterback. So it makes sense. He's not dumb and he's looking at the league. I'm sure he's looking at numbers. What to me was also really impressive, Sean, was that he actually admitted, like, hey, I can't be like a rookie trying to force the ball downfield when we don't have to. He literally was admitting to all of his faults. So really the first step, that's a big deal. Not being cocky and saying I don't have any problems or it's the coaching or whatever it is. He's putting the onus on himself to get better. And blaming himself. He's not blaming anybody else. He wasn't blaming the play caller last year. He wasn't picking on anybody else but himself. So I think that it shows a lot of growth. Now, hopefully it can translate to on the field. Which I think, honestly, I can't imagine a world where he has a worst season. I just don't. He has a better coach, and at worst, he's going to have maybe the same season, right? They may not win a lot of games, but his numbers should be at the least the same. Wouldn't you could say the same or better? Now, is it 4,000 yards? I don't know, but maybe it's 3,800 yards. Maybe 39. I don't know.
And really quick for James here.
Jay had 6,
just so you know, James Christo, of those 5 quarterbacks, none of them even made it to the NFC Championship game. So,
there's a few things I liked from Caleb Williams' presser. First and foremost, Sean, you already brought it up, the fact that he's talked about taking the check down, taking what the defense gives him, because we didn't see a lot of that last year. And I think Caleb scrambling to find the big play downfield is what got him some trouble so often. I think that's what got him hit more often than not, is the fact that he just held onto the ball rather than dumping off to the running back or the tight end. I think Ben Johnson's going to push that a lot in these next coming days in training camp. I think Ben Johnson's going to start to work from the inside out in terms of short passes to long passes. I think he's going to try to make sure Caleb's taking what the defense is getting before they start focusing on throwing the ball 50 yards downfield. So it's good to see Caleb starting with that, because I think a couple layups early on in the game is really what builds up a quarterback's confidence. And then another thing, you keep hearing the 70% completion, 70% completion. You've heard Caleb talk about it. You've heard Ben Johnson talk about it. Ben Johnson said, you guys, we don't necessarily have thresholds for Caleb Williams. Like one day he has to throw 62%, the next day 64, the next day 60. But I have a strong feeling the conversation that happened between Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams this offseason was, I want to get you to the point where you're throwing 70% completion percentage. And the reason being is I'm pretty sure Jared Goff done that almost every season under Ben Johnson, or at least the last 3 seasons, I believe he did that.
I think so.
Yeah, and the higher the completion percentage, the less the ball is in harm's way, the less interceptions, the less turnovers. So, Sean, if he throws for over 4,000 yards and he hits that 70 completion percent, I think you could already put him in the conversation for best Bears quarterback all time. Now, listen, I'm not saying for a fact he's the best Bears quarterback all time, but he's certainly in the conversation because how many Bears players have done that? Zero. Zero. So he definitely would be in the conversation. I think he would have to win a Super Bowl if we're going to say that he's the best Chicago Bears quarterback of all time. But I think he's well on his way to reaching that goal and reaching that achievement. And if he can throw 70% completion percentage this year and he throws over 4,000 yards, the Chicago Bears are going to be a really good football team.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. The two things, the few things that I liked that will help him with this is, they're working on improving his footwork right now and playing on time, which should yield more accurate throws. Playing under center with the left foot forward stance, more efficient dropbacks, leaning into play action, expanding the playbook a little bit for him, building that check down as a strategy. I mean, there's a lot of things that came out of there that they were saying that you're like, oh man, all these things, if he can put these all together, this is all going to help him with that efficiency, that completion percentage. And let's not forget, Ben Johnson is probably one of the most elite guys at setting a quarterback up to have that kind of success. So all these things that combine together, I think it's obtainable. But as James in the chat just pointed out, is it necessary for the Bears to win the Super Bowl to be have a 70% completion percentage? Because we just went over the 5 names. Now, Joe Burrow had an all-pro season, obviously, but none of these, I don't even think, besides Jared Goff, I don't think any of them were in the playoffs. Tua, Jared, Baker was in the playoffs, Joe Burrow and Geno Smith. So,
Sean, it's very possible that he has 70% completion rate and 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, and the Bears don't make the playoffs. I mean, it's
and Sean, outside of Tua, all those teams had a winning record. So, I mean, that's the goal, right? And when you hear Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams talk about footing and time work, the two go hand in hand. I mean, if you can, the better he gets it with his footwork, the better the timing he's going to get with the offense. But I mean, Caleb's saying all the right things. Obviously, we're not at training camp. We're not standing on the sideline. But the things that he's talking about are, to me, the things that he should be focused on. These are the intangibles of building the foundation of a good quarterback in the NFL. And for me, you guys, I've said this in the past, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I think Ben Johnson just wants to restart the whole thing with Caleb. Hey, just clean. Let's wipe the board off and restart from scratch. And I think that's exactly what he's doing right now early on in this training camp. It's just unfortunate for the Bears that because they have to implement a brand new offense, this is basically going to be a rookie season for Caleb Williams. So you're probably still going to see some hiccups going into the regular season. It's almost impossible to learn an NFL offense in less than 2 months.
100% agree. You couldn't have said it better. It's day one of training.
Sean, I think you muted yourself.
I did. Sorry, I was coughing. Let's be perfectly honest. That front seven they're going to face on Monday night is going to be tough. It's going to be a battle, and I'm not expecting a very super impressive performance. I hope they do enough to win that game. It's not the most, for me anyways, you guys may feel different. For me, it's not the most ideal front. But having a superior group, which we feel the Bears have done, should hopefully help with that. The Vikings were almost impossible to run with, which brings me into,
the D-line got better too. It's a really big test for the Bears. And, especially since your head coach, Ben Johnson, says he likes going up against him, that defensive coordinator. So,
when it comes to week one, guys, I mean, I know that the Chicago Bears spent most of their assets on offense this offseason, especially considering they hired Ben Johnson as their head coach. But I expect the defense to play a huge role in winning that game on Monday night. I mean, you're talking about a rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. I mean, obviously second year, but he's never taken a snap in the NFL. The defense needs to make him uncomfortable, and the Chicago Bears need to be opportunistic and take that ball away because if there's no excuse to lose to a guy starting his first game in the NFL, guys, there's just no excuse. Very rarely do rookie quarterbacks win their first game in the NFL. I think the Chicago Bears are more than capable of beating the Minnesota Vikings, especially considering the fact that they're going to be playing in Chicago on Monday night in primetime. And for a fact, J.J. McCarthy's heart is going to be pounding out of his chest. They need to make him uncomfortable as early as they possibly can, because if he gets settled in, and he's anything like Sam Darnold was in that offense, it could be a long day with the Chicago Bears. They need to make him uncomfortable as early as they possibly can.
At least it's at home.
First play of the game, man. Yeah, and it's more pressure for for JJ McCarthy. You're playing in Chicago in primetime. It's
your first NFL game, Monday Night Football away.
Well,
in front of one of the rowdiest crowds in all of football. I mean, they're certainly going to be uncomfortable for sure.
And you want to know one of the things that another thing I took away from the presser, from Ben Johnson's presser, to just combine this as we're talking about the offense, was he said, well, I don't know if we're going to be a wide zone or we're going to be a gap scheme. And for those, like, the wide zone is football scheme focused more on horizontally stretching the field. The gap is a little bit more focused on blocking, creating running lanes. So I think one fits DeAndre Swift, which would be the wide zone. And I think the gap would be more of a Kyle Monangai, Roshan Johnson type offense. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that develops, because he came out and said, hey, I don't know what we're going to be.
Yeah,
tailor it to this roster.
How amazing is it that he's not making that decision until he sees the talent that's on the field in front of him, as opposed to like, hey, this is my offense and you guys are going to learn it whether you like it or not, even if you're not capable of doing these things, like Matt Eberflus or Shane Waldron, any of these guys previous. Ben Johnson is catering this team to their talents, and that's something we haven't seen in Chicago in a very, very long time. You guys, I have been absolutely nothing but impressed with Ben Johnson since the day he walked into Chicago. I mean, yeah, he's doing everything that makes it look and feel like he is a legitimate, good NFL head coach, something I haven't felt for the Bears in a very long time. I mean, you look at their previous 5 coaches, just what he's done up to this point in day one of training camp is more impressive than what they did their entire tenures as Chicago Bears head coaches. This is the most excited I've been for as a Bears fan in a long time. I do want to get to Dennis Allen a little bit later, though, Sean, because there's some things.
Oh, we're going to get in. I got some Dennis Allen clips here for us, too, because there's a lot of things he said today that were very interesting. But the one thing I do want to play this Ben Johnson clip, because honestly, this was probably, like, we all talked about his inexperience and him not being a coach, and him coming out on the opening presser and saying these exact words made me feel really good.
Leaning on the people around me. Okay, so I've got a very experienced coaching staff by design. From Dennis Allen to Richard Smith to Richard Hightower. We've got a number of guys that have done this at a high level for a long time. And so I'm going to be going to them for advice quite a bit when certain things arise. Along those same lines, game management's another area where first time doing it, really calling the shots. I've been well versed in it over the years, but this will be the first time actually pulling the trigger. So we have people in the building that are going to help out in that regard as well. So
I love that so much, because everyone was like, oh, he's a rookie head coach. He's rookie this. We've been talking about this staff so gosh darn much, and all the experience that he brought in with this staff. He handpicked some great experience, and he just came out like, guess what, guys? I'm new at this too. I'm going to learn on the job, and that's why I have all these wonderful people around me. I mean, isn't that why the president builds a cabinet too? Like, it's no different. You know, it's the same thing, just a different part of life, I guess.
My favorite part of that little spiel right there, Sean, is the 2 words, by design. That means he knew that there was going to be some growing pains transitioning from an offensive coordinator in the NFL to head coach in the NFL. And he surrounded himself with guys that he thought could help him make that transition, help make that transition easier. That's one of my favorite parts of the entire presser by Ben Johnson right there, when he said, I built this coaching staff, or this coaching staff has a lot of experience by design. He did it on purpose, knowing that there was going to be some growing pains as to becoming an NFL head coach. I absolutely cannot wait, and I'm so excited. And talk about adding the right guys. I mean, Eric Bieniemy. You talk about even guys like Al Harris, the guys who have been in the NFL for a long time, even though they haven't been coaches forever. They know how the game is played. Yeah, all the entire coaching staff outside of Declan Doyle, who, like we've talked about many times, guys, he may not have a ton of experience, but by all accounts, this guy is supposed to be the next offensive guru in the NFL. He's kind of, I think he kind of reminds Ben Johnson from himself 5, 6, 7 years ago. So this coaching staff is the perfect coaching staff to help Ben Johnson make those in-game decisions, calling timeouts, challenges, so on and so forth. So, I mean, Ben Johnson couldn't have said it any better himself. And by design, guys, that's the most important part of that entire presser, by design.
And Kyle, Kyle, it's pretty simple. Leadership has like trickle down effects. When your leader is accountable and understands, like, hey, I don't know everything, so I'm gonna
Yes, you're admitting by design means he's admitting his faults, which is
Yeah.
okay because anybody doing something for the first time ever, there's going to be growing pains, and Ben Johnson knows that, and he's willing to look in the mirror and go, "I'm probably going to need help at some point during this season." And being an NFL head coach, and he built the staff in order to help him do that, and that's just the fact that he notices that, and it makes the right adjustments and the right hires to help him along is absolutely amazing. Because you guys, honestly, Matt Eberflus is the type of guy, and maybe I'm just a Matt Eberflus hater, I'm biased, but the type of guy where if he didn't know how to do something, he would probably just pretend he knew how to do it so he didn't look like an idiot, because it seemed to me like he really didn't know how to do anything.
Yeah, I would like to see when the Bears do lose a couple of games here, because there might be a stretch, if we're being honest with each other, that he is going to have some really tough press conferences. Right now, they're easy. You're just telling you, hey, so-and-so did well, we're doing this, we're doing that, yada, yada, yada. When it's a couple of games lost and he starts with the coach speak, well, we got to do a better job. We got to act as a team. I don't want to hear that stuff. I want to hear exact answers like he gives now. Hey, we failed on that third down play. We were supposed to run a dig route and so didn't. I don't want to hear.
Why did you?
I'll look at the film and get back to you guys. You're not going to get back to us. You're not going to tell us.
Oh yeah, Jason, not even in the press conference. It's just how does he respond to losing as a head coach in general? If he has a 2-3 losing streak, how does he respond as an NFL head coach? Because I'm sure it's going to be different than the way he responded as an offensive coordinator. When you're the offensive coordinator, you're not solely responsible for this team improving in every single facet. Ben Johnson is now the guy. So even if the defense or special teams are struggling, Ben Johnson has to get that fixed. I mean, obviously through the other coaches like Dennis Allen, but he still has to be the guy to make all those decisions and change things and try to light fire under people's asses. And every single thing on this team is going to be ran through Ben Johnson, whether it be special teams, defense, offense. He's going to be involved in every single decision that they make. He's never done this before, guys.
Good. Great. And that's the best way to learn too.
And what's great is, that right there, that little clip, he's not headstrong.
Sean, real quick. Nomad, a lot of respect for Nomad and his show. Absolutely appreciate. He comes in, he said, "Hey, congrats on your channel, fellas. Keep on pushing." We really appreciate that, Nomad. I've watched his channel many times, man. He does great work over there. We appreciate it, Nomad. Yeah. Anybody in the chat, anybody watching on Twitter, please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Please, if you're watching on Twitter, Nomad Network. If you're watching on Twitter, go over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And continue to leave as much in the chat as you possibly can, guys. We're going to kind of take this show wherever you guys want it to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, salute to you, man.
Yeah, salute to you, man.
Very much, man. Thank you.
Erica, I think we're going to get to Dennis Allen in a little bit here.
Yeah, we're going to get to Dennis Allen in about 2 minutes. I'm going to do this twice during the show because a couple people aren't here. But I want to give a little thank you to some fans yesterday because this is a really special to Brandon, Dustin, myself, and Kyle, and Jay, and Bruce. And, he was having this live presser yesterday. And we have Relentless Mikey and a Y2J come in there and throw some shouts out to 4-Star Chicago Sports during the live chat yesterday. So I just want
J2K.
Yeah, J2K. Thank you, sir.
I just want to give you guys a really big thank you. And if they pop on here at some point tonight, we're going to make sure we shout them out again. But that was really awesome to see that live yesterday. And thank you. I was working. Dustin was the one who caught it. So good catch by Dustin, and great for our Bears family, our community to help support us. And that means the world to me. And to these guys.
Sean, to that point, Nomad Network says he just subbed. So again, Nomad, thank you so much. We appreciate you, man. And thanks for joining the show tonight, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Let's get into Dennis Allen. Unless you guys got more on the offense, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams. Did you guys? I don't think I got an answer from anyone in the chat or you guys. Can he get to 4,000 yards and a 70% completion percentage?
Yeah, he can. I don't see why not.
That 70% is a tall task, Sean. What'd you say? 5 quarterbacks in the NFL did it last year? Yeah. I mean, you're talking about some of the best. Patrick Mahomes didn't do it, right? I mean, that's some of the best quarterbacks on the planet Earth. That is a tough ask, but I do think he can get the 4,000 yards. And, not having a 70% completion percentage is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, because generally the quarterbacks who like Geno Smith, the reason Geno Smith had a 70% completion percentage is because he was dumping the ball off to Jackson Smith and Jigma on every single play. I mean, there were 4, 5, 6 yard passes. It's okay to open up the offense a little bit and let Caleb make mistakes downfield. It's the only way he's going to learn, but he's certainly not going to have a 70% completion percentage if he does that. But I'm okay with that as long as Caleb learns from mistakes and he gets better every single day. And they've said that 1,000 times during training camp, guys. The goal is get better every day, get better every day, get better every day. And that's what they should be doing during the regular season as well.
Well, listen, set your goals high. Don't set them low. Set them high. And
if you say my goal is to throw 70% and you end up at 68, great. That's a great season for Caleb.
Yeah. And to Brandon, I don't know about Press Taylor like being the most overlooked, but when you look at Press Taylor, he just left Jacksonville and he left an underachieving Trevor Lawrence. So either Trevor Lawrence isn't who he's supposed to be, or this guy isn't as good as he's supposed to be. I'd have to study a lot more. I just know that
Sean Relentless Mikey is in the house.
Mikey, what up, buddy?
Relentless Mikey. You just missed the shout out, Relentless Mikey, and we'll just do it again really quick. This was you yesterday at the Ben Johnson press conference, shouting out 4-Star Chicago Sports. We just went over how much we appreciate you, and that means the world to us, everybody at 4-Star Chicago Sports. So thank you so much, brother. Really, 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 really appreciate it more than you'll ever know. There's your thank you.
And you guys, Nomad says you guys are worth it, talking about 7 for the show. So once again, man, we really, really appreciate it. Let's get some of these comments here, guys. Bears fan for life says, I want to see this team grow, compete, form a bond of unity with coaches and players, and begin winning games. It's win time now. Rebuilding is over. Next year, Poles adds pieces to the team too. Yeah, I'd say this is probably, you guys, the last year that the Bears are allowed to miss the playoffs without Ryan Poles being under real considerable heat. I think this is like the 2022 Lions, was it, Sean, where they were like 9-8 or 8-9 or something?
9-8, and they started off 1-6.
Yes, this needs to be that season for the Chicago Bears. If they fall anything short of that, you're probably somebody's going to be a scapegoat at some point, because this team's not only have they had plenty of time to add the roster. Ryan Poles had plenty of time to add the players he wants to build this team, but they're starting to get expensive, guys. This team's starting to get expensive. The Bears have
you almost want the offense to be
all
good,
of their
and if anything is bad, it's the defense. You know what I mean? That's really what you're hoping for.
John, I'm kind of with you. If you look at the Super Bowl champion quarterback and Jalen Hurts, he was at 68.7. I didn't look up what Pat Mahomes was, but he was under 70. So if you get me, he was at 62% last year, which ranked 36 among quarterbacks in the league. If he raises that up to 66, I think I'd be pretty happy with that. I don't know where you guys stand on that, but I would be okay with it. No big mistakes as he continues to develop. So,
yeah, I agree with Vernon here too. He says, I think we can measure success this season without looking at the win column. 100%. I think we've talked about it on the Barely There podcast before, right, guys? We just want to see everybody on the Bears improve, and particularly Caleb Williams. We want it to be at the end of the season, by the last 4 or 5 games of the season, I need Caleb Williams to look like he's a franchise quarterback that's going to be good in the NFL for the next 12 years. If not, then you have to start asking yourself a lot more questions.
Yeah, it's still Caleb above everything.
You guys are both the man. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here with us on this Wednesday.
And then Mikey says, I bet my whole paycheck that Caleb played a role in choosing that 70% for the completion percentage. I agree with you. Caleb may have walked in there and been like, I got to throw 85% this season. And Ben Johnson's like, whoa, dude.
Let's take this down a notch.
We're going 17-0. Hey, man, thanks for joining the show, man. Have an excellent night, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, for me, and if Trevor Lawrence did make the Pro Bowl with him there the year he was hired, that's okay. I don't even know how long Press Taylor was with Jacksonville. I know he came from Jacksonville. That was his last job. And Trevor Lawrence over the past 2 years has looked like dog shit. And people are questioning if this guy is the man. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what Press Taylor does with the Chicago Bears. That's what I'm going to judge him on. So
I actually think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a really good year.
Oh, you guys, we have a Rich. I love the question here. We're going to get this is going to be part of the show here, man. But Rich, I don't know if he's been on the show here before. Sean, do you recognize him?
I don't think so. Sorry, I was reading the comments on the side.
Rich, thanks for joining the show today, man. We really appreciate it. We're going to get into this Dexter thing right now. We're going to talk about Dennis Allen and Javon Dexter. And Oh, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna get into that. Do you want to get into Dennis Allen first?
Yeah, why not?
I kind of hand in hand, right? So we'll start wherever you want, Sean. We'll
Oh, this is perfect because in this clip, because this is kind of something that your brother Brandon and I talked about. We were kind of in agreement with last year that we'd like to see him stand up and play some edge. Speaking of Dexter Jr., and it kind of started today with TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. And this is what Dennis Allen had to say.
With an interception, what kind of playmaker do you think that he can be in your?
Yeah, I'm anticipating him being an exceptional playmaker for us. He's got size, he's got range, he's got speed. A lot of the things that we're going to look for in terms of it. Look, it's hard to throw over him. He's got a lot of length there in the middle of the field. So I'm excited to see what he can do. And obviously that was a good start. But we got a long way to go.
Were you moving Tremaine and TJ kind of across the formation?
Yeah, I think in particular early on in camp, I think it's important that you cross train guys because you only have 53 guys on game day, and you're probably going to have about 22 defensive players to carry into a game, and so injuries happen. You have to make adjustments within the course of the game, and so the more guys that we have that can play multiple spots and do multiple things, the better we're going to be. Ultimately, what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to put our best 11 on the field. And so to do that, you have to be able to cross-train some guys so you can mix and match and put guys in different positions.
That's something that Dennis Allen has been known for. And my question is, if he's pulling him from the 3 tech, does that just leave Shamar Turner and who am I forgetting? Because it's not going to be Billings. Billings is going to go to the nose. Who's the other guy that they have to play 3?
Shamar Turner.
Well, besides Shamar Turner.
It's not. It's right. In the article. He said Grady Jarrett and Shamar Turner are going to be the first string and the backup at the 3 technique. Although you guys, listen, the article is on Sports Mockery, correct?
Yes,
it was on Sports Mockery.
It was the only mention I could find. I think
the article written it's talking about, it's paraphrasing what Adam John says, but you guys, I don't see anything in the article in which a coach came out and said we're changing Javon Dexter's position from 3 technique to the outside. Now listen, I think he's probably been watching practice and training camp and he came to that conclusion himself, but it sounds to me when you listen to Dennis Allen like all of these guys are going to play multiple positions throughout training camp, even though Javon Dexter might still land on that 1 technique or that 3 technique. They want to see what all these guys can do in different positions because he later on in the interview he says you want your best 11 guys on the field at all times. So if your 5 best players are all cornerbacks, then you try to get one of them to transition to safety so that he's still on the field, considering he's one of the best 5 players on the defense. Correct. I think that's what you're seeing with Javon Dexter. I think Javon Dexter is one of the most talented players on this defensive line, and they're going to try to get him to stay on the field on almost every single down. So if you see Billings and Jarrett come in at the same time, you almost have to move Dexter to the outside, right? Because he's not going to play 3 tech
or rotate him out.
He's not going to play 1 tech over Billings. So I think they're trying to see what Javon Dexter is capable of, because I think the plan for Javon Dexter is use him as much as they possibly can. I'd say right now, you guys, he has the highest ceiling of any defensive lineman on the Chicago Bears. Now, obviously, Grady Jarrett's one of the best defensive linemen in Atlanta Falcons history, but let's face it, guys, this guy's 32 years old. He's not the same Grady Jarrett that he was when he entered the NFL. I think if you're talking about the cornerstone of this defensive line for the next 5-6 years, that has to fall on Javon Dexter. It absolutely has to.
Billings is over 32 or at 30.
And really quick, we're going to come right back to this because we did forget to cover the Luther Burden thing. Luther Burden got hurt on the first day of minicamp. He fell on the football wrong is what it was reported, and he pulled a hamstring. But this was him at the Walter Payton Center.
Sean, real quick, it was reported that he didn't re-injure him.
He re-injured it?
He aggravated the injury. He didn't get a brand new injury. He aggravated the injury that he had working out.
And this was him at the Walter Payton Center yesterday.
Yeah, he looks fine to me, guys.
Yeah, he looks like he's
he
pretty close.
I think
So-
they're just being as cautious as they possibly can.
Yeah, why hurt him?
Guys, this guy was the 39th pick in the draft, a second-round pick. He's expected to make an impact on this team this season, probably pretty early on. They're just trying to make sure he's healthy before they throw him into full-speed practice. I think that's all that's going on.
Absolutely. You just signed him.
And
Yeah.
I was going to say the other guy that missed too was Zay Frazier. He was injury. I did not catch what was wrong with Zay Frazier, though. I did not see. I tried to look for it today. No mention of what his injury was. It could have been personal and just sat out today. I have no idea. But I will say this on the Luther Burden thing. The more he sits out, the less hope I'd say I have for him this season. So if he doesn't get back really soon,
or just early on in the season,
or the first
six, 8 weeks, yeah.
And here we forgot to talk about this. I mean, they brought in DJ Shark. He's a former Pro Bowl wide receiver. So I don't know what they're thinking. Just, hey, we're going to just make sure all these troops, no matter if they're starters, backups, are amazing. I don't know. That was kind of surprising to me, the whole DJ Shark thing.
I don't know, guys. It sounds like Tyler Scott is just not going to make this roster.
Yeah.
They just keep bringing in receivers. I mean, it's going to be tough to make the cuts in the receiver room already. And now you're bringing another guy in, DJ Shark, who's proven he's an NFL caliber player. I mean, he's not certainly nothing spectacular. He's not a star, but I mean, they obviously like him more than they like Tyler Scott, or why wouldn't you just let Tyler Scott take over that role until Luther Burden gets healthy? And then, Sean, real quick, it says, I'm more concerned about JJ and Luther Burden. Yeah, you guys, all we've heard about the Jaylon Johnson injury so far, the only thing I've heard was during Ryan Pohl's presser, he said the words a few weeks before Jaylon Johnson was back on the field. A few weeks. I don't know. That obviously that could be 3 weeks, it could be it could be a week and a half. I have no idea, but I don't think it's as serious as people think it. I wouldn't worry about Jaylon Johnson until the preseason comes, because this is the one guy on the Chicago Bears that could plug himself in at basically any given moment. As a matter of fact, you guys, I can make an argument that Dennis Allen's defense probably caters more to Jaylon Johnson than Matt Eberflus did. This is going to be man-to-man. This is what he loves. This is what he loves.
That's why he likes Kyler Gordon, too.
Jaylon Johnson makes his money. He wants to make sure his receiver is not available to catch the ball. He doesn't have to do the zone shit anymore, where he has to pick up 3 different receivers on the play, according to whoever's coming through his zone. I think Jaylon Johnson's going to pick this defense up faster than anybody on the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him. We'll like I said, it's day one. In 2 weeks, if we're talking about this in 2 weeks, we're going to get into this Jaylon Johnson thing here in just a second, because there was the Rich Eisen show visit, and, now there's speculation that it's not really injury. He wants more money. We're going to get into that. Just to shore up this Dexter thing. This was something that I was talking about on a couple of Mondays ago, and Brandon, your brother, has talked about it as well. When you have Dexter and you have Shamar Turner, you have 2 guys that can put their hand in the dirt, and you got 2 guys that can stand up on the edge. And one thing that we know about Dennis Allen is he likes versatility on this defense. Another guy you're going to look for as training camp continues to progress that might be playing safety along with nickel is Kyler Gordon. He's already stated he wants Kyler Gordon on the field as much as possible.
He should.
You want your best players on the field as much as possible.
I think Dexter is the Kyler Gordon of the defensive line. Real quick, guys. Squeegee has joined the show. He says, JJ is licking his chops, hoping QBs will be brave enough to throw his way. Yeah, I mean, JJ's best season, he allowed, 172 yards receiving? So it doesn't happen very often. And like I said, this defense is catered to Jaylon Johnson's strengths. He might end up being the most important Chicago Bear this season based off of how Dennis Allen runs his defense. There's a very good chance Jaylon Johnson is going to be the MVP for the Chicago Bears in 2025.
And in this division with the wide receivers that are here, it's
Justin
very important to have a very good secondary.
Yeah, the only problem is last year when Jaylon Johnson shut Justin Jefferson down, what did Addison have? Like 160 yards and 2 touchdowns? It's time for Tyreek Stevenson to get his head out of his ass.
Yeah.
And too, I found this little snippet too when you talk about adding a defensive end and having a rotation. That Passannier was with Dennis Allen. He played 40% of the D snaps, and he had 10 starts during that time. So again, we were all thinking about Za'Darius Smith. This might be the guy that they get for depth piece in case a guy like my boy from Rock Chalk Jayhawk, Austin Booker, doesn't work out. This could be the filler for 2025.
Yeah, Sean, and that's something we said on 4 Star Chicago Sports, 3 weeks ago? We said, you guys, I don't expect them to make any major splash free agent during training camp or even the beginning of training camp. I expect them to go through training camp, see what they have on the field. They evaluate the talent here. And then if they feel like they need to add somebody else, so like a star, like a Jaylon Clowney or Smith, then they can go ahead and do that. But right now, they want to see what they have here, man. We don't know what to expect from Austin Booker. We don't know what to expect from Deo. We don't know what to expect from Grady Jarrett at this point in his career. We don't know what to expect from Andrew Billings coming off a major injury. Javon Dexter going to his third year, in which we expect him to have improved drastically.
Big steps.
Montez Sweat, who's coming off one of his worst seasons of his career. I mean, there's so many question marks on this defensive line. I think it's smart for the Bears to just kind of sit back, evaluate, and then make their adjustments after they figure out what they have.
Yeah, I think over these first 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about a lot of unorthodox things that we've never seen the Bears do before, because this is actually a professional coaching staff on board.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see the ins, the outs, the different things that they do. And I'll be perfectly honest, because I know Brandon and I talked about this last year. We were both excited to see Dexter maybe get on the edge a little bit. And if they see that with Dexter, I think you could see that with Shamar Turner, which I talked about a couple of weeks ago, I believe, on the Monday show, saying, hey, Shamar Turner did this in college. That's where he started. The versatility that Dennis Allen likes, why not see if you can be flipping these guys around, moving them around, find out. Maybe Dexter will be better off the edge than he is with his hand in the dirt. Who knows? But hopefully we're going to find out.
Yeah, Sean, Vizzo Joe, and V-Dog have joined the chat.
What's up, Vizzo Joe?
V-Dog.
What's up, V-Dog?
V-Dog says, what's up, fellas? Cultures has changed immediately since Ben Johnson and company have arrived. Ben had stopped TC multiple times this morning due to constant miscommunication and errors. Rich says, Al Harris is going to be all over the DBs. Love that Johnson brought him in. Yeah, that was one of my favorite coaching hires as well, Rich. Absolutely amazing hire, especially for when you have a guy like Tyreek Stevenson where you can see the talent is there, but for some reason he just hasn't been able to put it together. I think if anybody can pull that out of him, it's going to be Al Harris. Jason, what do you think, man?
I think the defensive line, look, the defensive line is a situational position all along the line. There's constant rotation going in. That's why offenses like to play the 2-minute drill, the no huddle offense, because it doesn't allow defenses to change out those defensive linemen. So it's really, really important to have those guys that can play multiple positions, not just for rotational purposes. You can rotate different guys in and younger guys can maybe stay in longer or whomever, but you can also then be prepared in the event that someone is running a no huddle against you and you really don't have the wrong personnel on the field, because anybody can play any position up on that line. So that also applies obviously to the linebackers and the DBs as well. But that's why it's very, very important for these guys to all know. That's why Dennis Allen is saying that. I don't want to get caught. Again, the coaching staff is thinking about what may happen.
Yeah, thinking about
a plan.
Like they're already addressing issues that haven't come up yet because they're just preparing themselves for any issue. Like Jason, I love it. That's one of my favorite things Dennis Allen said. Like, hey, listen, there's going to be injuries. Rather than putting like the backup corner in, why don't we just see if one of the amazing safeties who's an amazing athlete and is sitting on the bench because the two guys in front of him are better can play corner? That's something that these coaching staff for every NFL team should be thinking about. And it's something that hasn't happened here in a very long time. Sean, you want to answer this question real quick? I know you just talked about it, but Squeegee said, did anyone find out why Zay Frazier wasn't at practice?
I tried to search, and I mean, I went through Courtney Cronin, Adam Hogue, Johns. I went through everybody.
He's not on the NFI or anything.
Yeah, all I saw was he wasn't at practice. I could not find anything I searched really hard because
I didn't even see that I read a ton of articles about training. I didn't even see he wasn't there. So they obviously aren't talking about it very much. And then Rich says here, Rich, I read an article today. I forgot who. God, I wish I remember who wrote it, but it sounds to me like Zach Pickens is on his way out.
I liked Ford last year.
Yeah, it sounds like Zach Pickens is a cut candidate for sure, and it's probably the first guy to be cut off the roster in terms of the defensive line.
Hey, and you want to know? And I just wanted to play this because this was honestly my favorite part of the last couple of days press conferences. Cole Kmet added some good things. Grady Jarrett's always a fun interview, but this was really awesome by Dennis Allen.
Was doing up downs for a while.
That's correct.
What did you kind of explain what was behind?
I think it's all part of building the culture of what type of defense that we're going to be, and you have to you have to pay the toll. You have to pay the price. It's a privilege to be on this defense. And so we've been doing that.
That made me so happy to hear. Like that when it normally when it comes to this, it's like it's talk. But with these guys, it's not talk. This is who they are, man. This is who this staff is, and this is what gives me the confidence in the world that this is going to come out, and the Bears are going to play tough. They're going to play hard. They're going to play with grit, intensity, and they're not going to be win, lose, or draw. When you play the Bears on Sunday, it's going to be a tough football game, and this is just kind of the feeling that I'm getting when I hear this staff, when I hear my head coach turn around and say, hey, look, I'm not experienced at this shit. I brought in all these other guys because what did I do? I hired a bunch of people smarter than myself around me to help me become smart and become better. And then you look at Dennis Allen, man, just based on his history, what he's going to do to these guys. If you're not good enough, you're not going to be here. And I think this staff has brought this in, and someone said it in the chat, the culture is definitely changing. I felt it back in OTAs, but you hear it right now. You see the first team. He don't care that it was Caleb Williams. Get off the field. You don't know this shit? Get out of here. I love it. I love it. I love it. I am so in love with this staff right now. I can't even tell you.
Sean, what's awesome about it is they all say things, the coaching staff that is, matter-of-factly. I heard you guys had them doing up and downs. That's correct.
Yep.
Like it's no big deal. That's everybody's job. That's everybody's position. It's not, I'm getting on you. I'm not yelling at you. This is what it is. This is our defense. If you want to play for this defense, this is the standard we have. Get down, get up, get down, get up, get down.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. And the players didn't seem to mind it.
Yeah, and he says it's a privilege to play on this defense. You guys, it's a privilege to play in the NFL. Jason's talked about this 1,000 times. 0.001% of college players make the NFL, and 0.001 of them end up being stars there. So, yeah, if you don't get 100% effort all the time, if you're constantly making mistakes, this is not a charity, guys. The NFL is the highest standards of any league in the entire world. If these guys continue to make mistakes, they won't be playing. And I don't think this coaching staff gives a shit about salary or anything else like that at all. I think you heard him say 11 best, most athletic, talented men are going to be on the field at all times. He means the guys who are making plays on a consistent basis.
And that's an alarm call by the coaching staff to say everybody, the best player, I don't care who it is, the best player is going to be on the field.
And I want to get your guys, because we've talked a lot about this between Dustin, Brandon, myself. I don't know how much we've talked with you, Jay, about this, but his comments about one Tremaine Edmonds, man, and we saw that in the last clip. I'm anticipating him being an exceptional playmaker for us. He's got size, he's got range, he's got speed. Under Dennis Allen, I'm asking the chat, I'm asking all of you guys. You guys are watching this staff. I know it's day one, but we've been watching this since OTAs and as we're getting into camp. Do you guys honestly believe that Dennis Allen is the key to unlocking Tremaine Edmonds and getting him back to the Pro Bowler that he was in Buffalo? I said a couple of weeks ago, I believed at 110% that he would. So now I'm asking you guys, do you guys believe he can unlock this guy? I don't think he's been that bad for the Bears. I don't think he's made the splash plays that everybody wants. He's been a tackling machine. But I think he's going to be a Pro Bowler this year in Dennis Allen. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
Well, you hope Dennis Allen can make everybody better, and I think he can. But specifically, I think he's spot on with Tremaine Edmonds. He is a very tall linebacker. He's super long reach. He is fast and rangy. He's actually still pretty young, like 26? So he's not old by any means whatsoever. We can get an easy 4 or 5 more years or even another contract out of Tremaine Edmonds. And you might see one if he starts playing very well at the middle linebacker position. I think he's a very good player. He can drop back into coverage. I think you're going to start seeing some more unique blitzes with him. I think he was really underutilized in Eberflus's defense. For some reason, linebackers just aren't that important in Eberflus's defense, which is just mind-boggling to me. It's like the center of your defense. But in any event, I think he's going to have a really good year. I think Edwards is going to have a good year too. And whoever they put over there, Noah Sewell or the new kid that they drafted, great. Yeah, whoever it is, that's great. But I think this is. I hate using comparables because he's not going to be a Hall of Famer like a Brian Urlacher or whatever, but I think he's going to be a passing game nightmare. And I think that's where that size, speed, and range comes into play here for that middle linebacker position. So watch for him to actually be utilized in the passing game a little bit more, and those big arms maybe swatting down balls or maybe even catching a couple INTs, which would be great.
Yeah, we've seen Tremaine Edmonds make splash plays. I just think that the previous coaching staff didn't put him in opportunistic positions to do so. I think if Dennis Allen knows how to use Tremaine Edmonds to the best of his ability, based off of his skill set, based off of his size, speed, length, strength, I think you're going to see Tremaine Edmonds have maybe 3-4 interceptions, 5-6 sacks, 10 or 11, 12 tackles for loss. I think he's going to be a completely different player. Now, you guys, I don't think Tremaine Evans is ever going to be Roquan Smith, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Mike Singletary, Otis Wilson, Wilbert Marshall, but I think he certainly could be a much better player than he's been here since he came to Chicago, and I think that's due in part to Matt Eberflus and his inconsistency as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing right now is got to have everybody's eyes wide open, because we haven't seen this in Chicago maybe since the Dick era was here when him and Buddy Ryan were at odds, and one was running the offense, one was running the defense, and the checks and balances were in place, and people were held accountable. It's been a long time since we've had this here. So for newer fans, this is the first time they're ever seeing it in their life. I mean, this is the second time I've got to see it. I forgot about it because it's been so gosh darn long. But hey,
was pretty good.
Well, they had Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith was
Lovie
Smith era was pretty good. I mean, they did go to the Super Bowl, NFC champions.
Yeah, but you guys, even during the Lovie Smith era, they couldn't get the coaching staff right. How many offensive coordinators did they shuffle through when Lovie Smith was here? I mean, this to me feels like the most complete coaching staff the Chicago Bears have ever had. And you guys, at the end of the day, Ben Johnson is the offensive coordinator, so if he's good and he's a good play caller, he's not going anywhere. Basically, he is now the Andy Reid, the Sean McVay, the Kevin O'Connell. He's going to have his offensive coordinator, his coffee guy, whatever you want to call him. But at the end of the day, he is responsible for everything that happens to the Chicago Bears offense. And if they lose Declan Doyle, big deal. Then go get another Declan Doyle. Ben Johnson's the guy that needs to stay here to create consistency and cohesiveness for this offense and for Caleb Williams.
No, I'm with you, and that's one thing. That's one thing that we listened to in that clip with Peyton Manning last week was consistency. What did he say? I had the same offensive coordinator for 14 years. I knew what I was doing in my sleep, and that's exactly what we want here. And I think we can build it. I think they're going to build this thing, man. I mean, when we hired Nagy, I wasn't happy, and then he had 2018, but then immediately reverted back to 2019 when the Bears were
Coach of the year, bro. Coach of the year, dude. That's insane.
I mean, from the Trustmans to the God, it's just been. Oh, it just feels right. I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy right now, man. I'm like giddy. Like I'm so giddy inside because it's like, man, we're going to be a competent football team. And I have confidence in that even without Ben Johnson being on a sideline once, because he just came out and said, hey, man, if I don't understand these things, I got this professional, that professional. We're going to get it right. I just, God damn, man, I'm so happy.
Yeah, but it's part of that Bears bipolarism. You know, and you think it's a really good coaching staff, but you have to temper that with, I haven't seen any wins yet. I haven't seen playoff games yet. I haven't seen any of that. So until you start seeing that, you can't ever be 100% confident.
You guys, Squeegee says, I'm ecstatic that we have Ben Johnson here to lead the play calling and coaching. I'm not sure what to think about Dennis Allen. Will he be better than Flus? What coach would you compare to him?
That's a great question.
I mean, listen, I don't know if anybody in particular I would compare to.
What's his coaching tree?
But I will say Dennis Allen has consistently been the consummate professional in the NFL for the last 10 years. I mean, every time this guy goes to a team, their defense immediately improves. And by all accounts, guys, if you ask other coaches or GMs around the NFL, Dennis Allen is considered a top 10 defensive coordinator in the NFL. And I think it's going to be no different here in Chicago. The only thing about the Bears right now is Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson just got here. So Dennis Allen might need more pieces to run the system he wants to run. This is not going to be a 1 year fix it. This is going to be a Rome wasn't built in a day kind of thing. That's why I think we talked about earlier how this is not necessarily about wins and losses. It's about seeing improvement from week to week.
So really quick, when he was in New Orleans, 2017 to 2021, as defense coordinator, he ranked 6th in NFL points at 20.9 per game, which we were praising the Bears holding people around 20 points last year. Rushing, he was first in rushing yards allowed at 94.1. His final 2 seasons as defensive coordinator were also as head coach. The defense has also finished in the top 10 in both scoring and total defense. In 2022, his first year as the head coach, the Saints boasted the second best pass defense in the NFL, allowing 184.4 yards per game. I mean, this guy does have a track record of consistency. Now, when he first got there, their defenses weren't good. He had to build them up. So if you go look back when he first got there, they were dead last. But it took him a little time, and he got there. And once he got there, they stayed there. They stayed at the top. I have a lot of confidence in Dennis Allen to be very good. And I don't know if I would compare him to Vic Fangio. I think they're completely different styles. Play callers. To me, anyways.
Different schemes, too.
Yeah, first of all, I think Vic Fangio is the best defensive coordinator in the NFL. So it's tough to compare anybody to Vic Fangio. That's like comparing somebody to Andy Reid. You know, like Ben Johnson's awesome, but I certainly am not willing to call him Andy Reid yet. But yeah, I mean, I just think I don't need to compare him to anybody, guys. If you look at Dennis Allen's past, he has a track record for success, like you said, Sean. The only thing that, like I said, about this particular team in 2025 for the Chicago Bears is it's going to take time because Dennis Allen has had one draft and one free agency offseason. And let's be honest, guys, I think they spent most of their money in free agency on offense because they're more worried about Caleb Williams than they are the defense right now, which they should be. You want to make sure your quarterback is a franchise quarterback and he adjusts to this scheme and this offense. But next year, I think the draft and the free agency class is going to be a lot of defense. You're going to see Dennis Allen bring a lot of guys in here. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if guys like Tremaine Edmonds end up becoming cap casualties, not because they're not good players, but because they don't fit his system.
I'll tell you this too. I did not know that Dennis Allen drafted Khalil Mack and Trey Hendrickson. Thanks for that nugget, Bizzo Joe. I did not know that. And Squeegee, I'll be with you as soon as we wrap up here.
It's time to smoke his medication.
You know, I think Dennis Allen came from that like Wade Phillips tree. I was just trying to look it up.
Guys, he's comparing him to Vic Fangio in terms of he's an aggressive, tenured, and respected coach.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I agree.
Not necessarily the scheme or anything like that, but basically 100%. Their reputation in the NFL. And then Erica says Judon or Smith will probably be a Bear before this season starts. I'm certainly not putting it past Chicago, but you hope not, right, guys? You hope that when they're in training camp in the preseason, they're like, oh, my God, this Austin Booker guy and this Deo guy are absolutely amazing. Like, we don't even need to think about it. We should start thinking about adding maybe another linebacker instead of defensive end. But I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen enough out of Austin Booker. I don't think they gave enough playing time last season. And I don't know a lot about Deo either, guys. All I know is that he's been a guy who's been inconsistent since he was drafted. He played for Indianapolis. And since the Bears brought him here because they think that he has a higher ceiling than he did when he was on the Colts. I think but he could be a 10-sack guy. If that's the case, that's a huge win for the Chicago.
And there's an extra roster spot open right now, so they might add another guy. You don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking about trying out.
Yeah. I'm going to go with you. I'll tell you this. Dale's another guy that you might see putting his hand in the dirt. He might not just be playing defensive end.
He should.
So
he should.
There's going to be a lot of versatility, and honestly, I think that's one of the reasons why he was signed. I think we're going to see some things that we've never seen before, and I hope they find the right pieces and they all fit and they all work out for them.
I like this comment here, though, Sean. And you know what? It's scary.
We talked about it last week.
Scary similarities between Yannick and Deo, man. Scary similarities. Deo, I do consider Deo to be – Yannick was a bust here. I agree.
We literally had that conversation last week.
Deja vu with that. We'd see a last-minute blockbuster trade for Parsons to the Bears, although Jerry Jones is doing a bang-up job of pissing Parsons off. I cannot believe Jerry Jones came out and made those public comments. I mean, you might as well walk up to the player and slap him in his face. I mean,
right?
Well, we can't guarantee that he's going to be playing even if we do sign him to a contract. He was hurt for 6 games last year. That's the dumbest thing you possibly could have said, Jerry Jones. Like, it's time for you to go home.
I'll be honest. I would love to figure out a way to pay Micah Parsons and get him here as a Bear for a long time. And I know that Bizzo Joe, you're saying here that the Bears don't have funds to pay Parsons. I don't know how the Chiefs are coming up with all this money to pay all these people because they were $46 million over the cap, and somehow they're signing all of their stars to continue their dynasty. So
well, it's cash over cap.
Right, and cash over cap. So there's a will, there's a way. If they want to do it, they'll get it done. I don't see it. Trust me, I've been the biggest Micah Parsons fan for years. I would love to have that guy in the Navy and Orange.
The trade tag is going to be big for Parsons. It's not like you're going to do a one-for-one trade. Bears are going to probably have to give up a lot.
What you would have to give up to land Micah Parsons, and then you'd have to immediately kind of sign him to a contract extension. I don't think the Bears are in that conversation, guys. But Erica says, we get Parsons, we will have the best defense in the NFL, exclamation mark. She is making a factual statement. And then DJ Prophet says, think about how Nick Sirianni brought in Fangio, the de facto head coach of the defense. Same thing here. Ben is letting DA have full reign of the defense. Yeah, 100%. But I mean, this is Dennis Allen's defense. The failures and successes will fall on his shoulders. But like I said, when you talk about in-game management, in-game decisions, I'm not talking about personnel. I'm talking about timeouts, so on and so forth. Ultimately, that's all going to come down to Ben Johnson. And then Erica says, teams find ways to pay players they want. Polls could find a way if they really wanted them. Oh, sure. I'm sure. We've talked about this before, guys. The cash over cap is basically that the owner can pay players cash basically out of his pocket, and it does not count against your salary cap, but it's also pretty rare in the NFL. And then Rod says, Parsons played for losing team. Why sign him? I would have no problem having Parsons here. I
don't think Parsons is the reason why they're losing over there. That guy's a sack and tackle machine.
I think Ron's might be talking about the Cowboys.
The Bears
signing,
also
right?
are a losing team.
Cowboys signing. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say,
why would the Cowboys sign him if they're going to suck anyway, right? I think that's the point he was trying to make.
The guy has 52 sacks in 4 years, man. I'm taking him all day, every day.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal player in the NFL.
We need to draft
your team as an owner.
I'm with you too, Vizzo. If we can find a way to draft the Parsons, I kind of thought that that would have been, a Jahad Campbell this year could have been a Parsons type player. Hopefully the Bears are looking on that side of the ball because I think if the offense is what we think the offense can be this year, outside of a running back, I mean, how much are they really going to have to go in the draft next year?
Edge has got to be a priority next year.
Yeah, DJ Profit, Relentless Mikey. I'm with you guys, man. I think the Bears aren't in a position right now to give up 2 first-round picks and $150 million to Micah Parsons. We saw that it worked out with Khalil Mack. I don't want the Bears to get themselves in that same contract again. I just am saying, I'm not saying they should make that move. I'm saying, but if they could, they got Micah Parsons for free, that guy is absolutely an amazing football player. It would immediately make this defense championship caliber defense. Immediately the second he got here.
But 100%.
I just don't think the Bears are in a position right now when they're basically 2 years away from, like we said, they're basically the 2022 Lions, right? So they're not in a position right now to go get that final piece because I think they need a lot more pieces than that.
I mean, the Bears could have handled this all last year if they would have just drafted Jared Verse in the draft last year. I think they would have been just fine. We would have been talking about we have a Micah Parsons.
Sean, whenever Rome Adunze comes on 4-Star Chicago Sports, I'm telling him you said that.
Well, I'm saying, I was saying get creative and move up. The guy went in 19th, 20th pick in the draft last year. You could have found a way to give up a couple picks and ended up with a Jared.
No, I agree, man. Jared Verse he's a stud, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for a very long time. There's we talked about this last week. I think there's certain teams that just know how to fill positions. Like this team loses Aaron Donald, and what do? They get Jared Verse and Braden Fisk the very next year, dude. Like their defensive line never skips a beat. It's like quarterbacks in Green Bay.
Hey, Erica, I'm not disappointed that we have Rome at all. I'm very happy that he's a Chicago Bear. We need that star. For me growing up, I always had a middle linebacker that was a star. I always had an outside linebacker that was a star. I always had an inside linebacker that was a star, for Christ's sake. I'm just not used to seeing this okay linebacking core. We're Chicago Bears,
good,
man,
but not
all
great.
pros.
I don't think anybody looks at the Chicago Bears linebacking core and goes, "Ugh," but they're certainly not great.
Not at all.
Nowhere near the best linebacking core the Chicago Bears ever had, and that's no disrespect because I like T.J. Edwards a lot. Really good player.
I like T.J. Edwards too.
He's just not so impactful that you hear his name every 3 plays.
But you know what, Kyle?
Single
if you had a Urlacher and Briggs and then a T.J. Edwards, That's kind of what I'm talking about. TJ,
Yeah, like TJ Edwards would look like a mouse.
Yes.
He couldn't
Yes.
hold a flame.
Yes.
I agree with you, Sean. He looks better now because he's probably the best linebacker on the Bears. But yeah, I miss the days of Otis Wilson, Wilbert Marshall, Mike Singletary, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, even Roquan Smith. I think Roquan Smith's going to go down as one of the best linebackers who ever played football when it's all said and done. But you guys, one day at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Erica, I wouldn't mind Jadeveon Clowney. I honestly think with Passanye coming on today, I think the Bears are going to be set here. I personally, I could be wrong. Obviously,
I want him to start because I want to hear how they pronounce his name in real life because none of us can figure it out.
You guys, Talentless Mikey has breaking news.
Oh,
Bears
legend. And we have Hippolyte. You are correct.
Ruben Hippolyte, the next Brian Urlacher.
You know what?
At 5'8", 200.
If he does, that's amazing.
If this guy turns into an All-Pro, I'm just gonna die. I'm just gonna die.
It was still too early to pick him though. That doesn't change.
Not if he turns into an All-Pro, then we got to steal.
Yeah, Squeegee says I would try moving Edwards to Mike. He started there in college in Philly. And DJ Prophet says we are also paying Cole Kmet a backup tight end.
Here we go again.
With the backup tight end.
No, guys, I don't think he's making fun of Cole Kmet. I think what he's saying is if you wanted to make room for a guy like Parsons, Edmonds and Cole Kmet would be good guys to get rid of their contracts in order to create space for Parsons. I don't think he's necessarily saying he doesn't.
I would do it for Parsons because honestly, Kmet might not be on the team next year. So what's the point anyway?
I don't know. People keep saying that, but he's still.
That's going to be here for the duration of his contract.
I think so too. I think so. We heard Ben Johnson say he wants to. He's never had a caliber of two tight ends like this, and he wants to see what they're capable of doing on the same team.
Maybe you're right.
He's probably getting Aaron Hernandez, Rob Gronkowski vibes. If that's the case, keep them both here for as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I personally think that, especially for the start of the season, we'll see what Colston Loveland does. When I didn't see him out on the practice field with the team today, I did not find anything that says he was or wasn't, so I don't know for a fact if he was or wasn't. But I'm just going to say, Chicago, don't sell Cole Kmet short. I know a lot of people are because they got their new shiny toy.
Not the national media. The media talks to Cole Kmet every chance they get. That guy is always on.
Because he's awesome.
Chicago Bears, always. So I obviously think he's going to play a pretty big role in Chicago. I mean, they're not interviewing Zoff Frazier. They're not interviewing Kyle Monungai. They're interviewing Cole Kmet.
Hey, and I
love him. I just don't know if they'll afford him. I don't know.
Relentless Mikey could be dead on because this is what I said a couple of weeks ago. I think Cole Kmet this year is going to be a touchdown monster.
Yeah, Sean, you've
red zone. Yes.
Colston between the 20s, Kmet from 20 to the goal line. You've been saying that since the day they drafted Colston. And then DJ Prophet says, I could see Hippolyte playing safety if we don't re-sign Brisker. You guys, I've talked about this when they drafted Hippolyte. I was thinking maybe they were trying to make him that Brian Branch type player where he kind of plays nickel, safety, outside linebacker. He does a little bit of everything, but I forgot who it was who shot that down real quick. But he would probably have to lose a little bit of weight if he wants to be.
But they did talk about that. They did talk about that, him being a hybrid because of his speed, that he could drop back to that safety position. We'll see. I mean, obviously, we heard Dennis Allen today. They're going to be mixing and matching, so they're going to find out what these guys can do, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited.
God, the preseason's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be like, is Brisker at middle linebacker? Slick Sophistication's back in the house. He said, God bless you. God bless you, Slick.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, if you guys want to throw anything in, we're going to flip this topic really quick because I want to get into this, and then we can get back in the Nuggets tidbits. Keep throwing comments in there. But, on the Rich Eisen show this week, our boy, formerly number 33, now number 1, Jaylon Johnson, probably the best player on the Chicago Bears. We all know signed that lucrative extension back in March 24, 4 years, $76 million, $54 million guaranteed. Well, with Sauce Gardner breaking the market, he came out and said, things are going really good. I'm seeing a lot of other corners getting paid, Jonathan said on the show. I almost feel like we might have to have another discussion. The market is moving. As long as I just keep being myself and playing at a high level, we'll definitely have to be some conversations coming up soon. And then all of a sudden, there's a mystery injury. And then the speculation begins. Is he really hurt? Does he want more money?
Yeah,
You
Sean,
know-
real quick, just before we Kyle Harris, in terms of the Colston Loveland Cole Komet conversation, Kyle Harris says, Dustin, your thoughts? Don't get us started, Kyle. Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
let's go. I can't wait to talk about this Jaylon Johnson. It's ridiculous.
In 2022, there was a linebacker on the Bears who was holding out for a contract situation, and the Bears put him on the PUP list. Remember who that was?
Yep.
Roquan Smith?
Yes. Now, the difference between a PUP list and an NFI list is pretty significant. They both have to be made before training camp starts, and the PUP list, you miss an automatic 4 to 6 games or whatever, the first 4 to 6 games of the season. It happens automatically. An NFI list, you can put a guy on and take him off as many times as you want. Both actually account for one of the 53 men on the roster. Now, I think if they put him on the NFI, they just signed him, and if you really read into what he said, I'm just going to keep showing up and doing what I do, being the best I can be. And then he went on to say the rest. That tells me that he has every intention to show up and play. He's not holding out. So I don't know why then you would have to put him on the NFI list to negotiate a contract. You can still negotiate with him while he's in training camp, and I don't see him holding out. He did make like $28 million last year. So it's not like he's broke. And it's really, I don't think about the guaranteed money. He's about $10 million, $30 million short or whatever over the life of the contract from the next guy. So I understand. If you look at PFF, he's like the 20th ranked. I think he's better than that, especially as importance for the Bears. I think he's bigger than that. But he's not necessarily far and beyond the best cornerback statistically on the Bears. Tyreek Stevenson is not that far away. And Tyreek Stevenson actually gave up a lesser QB rating on slightly fewer, attempts, but still, you know what I mean? So, but the passes defended, if you look, it was actually, I think Tyreek Stevenson defended more passes, which means you're not throwing Jaylon Johnson as much.
Yeah, I was going to say, when the ball's never coming your way, it's hard to deflect passes.
But when it is going his way, he's giving up to a better passer rating than Tyreek Stevenson. I'm not saying Tyreek
he's
Stevenson
also facing the best receiver on the field.
I got you. I'm just saying the gap between their statistical differences isn't that much. And if that's how you're really paying a guy, you can't just say, I think you're really good, so I'm going to pay you a lot. I don't know if that really floats in the NFL. You have to actually show that you're really good. And I think he is, but I don't think he's a top 5 DB in the league. He's just not.
Jaylon Johnson?
I mean, Jason, I certainly believe that the lack of interceptions came up during the contract.
Yes.
I mean, they have to. At some point, you have to have a threshold or a landmark in which you're trying to compare him to other players to figure out what he's owed.
That's why I put him on
Surtain is like a stud, and you're getting paid less than him. Well, pretty good reason why, dude. You're not as good as Patrick Surtain.
You guys, let's be honest here. I mean, Jaylon Johnson, when he got signed, we all said, "Oh my God, what a steal of a contract!" This guy got 4 years, $76 million, something like that. I mean, there's no doubt that Jaylon Johnson certainly could have gotten more money if he waited for held out free agency went elsewhere. He certainly could have got paid higher than he did. But here's the problem, guys. Jaylon Johnson signed the contract. Like, Jaylon, you signed the contract. And last March, we're not talking about 3 years ago. We're talking about
March of 2024.
Jaylon, you signed the contract. You did it. So if Jaylon Johnson wants to be paid more, he needs to shut his mouth, have a phenomenal season in 2025, be the cornerstone of this defense, and then come back to Ryan Poles and go, can I get a restructured contract or a contract extension and add more guaranteed to this contract? Because Jaylon, you did it to yourself. Last March, you signed a contract extension for 4 years, $74 million. And then you saw everybody else in the NFL getting paid more money than you. And you're like, oh, man, I want that. Well, too bad. You already made your decision. Now, like I said, if Jaylon Johnson goes out and absolutely destroys it this season, and is by far and away the best Chicago Bear, then I don't think Ryan Poles would be upset if he came into his office and was like, hey, do you think we could talk about maybe adding a little more in guarantees or restructuring the contract, maybe more incentives, something along those lines. But for right now, I don't know who said it in the chat here, but somebody said he has no leverage, and that's 100% correct. Right now, Jaylon Johnson signing that contract extension last March has no leverage against Ryan Poles and this Bears team in any way, shape, or form. But another thing I want to talk about real quick, and Sean, I think you probably agree with me. I think the only thing that bothered me about that quote for the Rich Eisen show was the word soon. Because everything else, it seems to me like he's talking about proving himself for the next 3 or 4 years and getting paid again. But the fact that he said we're going to be having contract negotiations again soon,
does that mean next year, or does that mean this week?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of it was taken out of context, taken way out of context, and he's just talking about having to produce through the life of this contract before he gets paid more money. But then he put that last word in there, soon, and it's like, well, what is soon? Is 3 years from now soon? Like that's not very soon.
Look, to be honest with you, if you're Jaylon Johnson, if you play well and you stay healthy for a year, those contracts are just going to get bigger. Like it's not going to hurt you to wait another year. You're under contract. It's not.
You guys, and Joe said they baited him on that question and then took his answer out of context. They were poking his button. Hey, you see all the other money all the other corners are getting? Hey, you see these contract the corners are getting? Hey, what do you think about your contract? Like they definitely backed him up into a corner and put him against the wall. But I think Jaylon Johnson, what he meant by what he said was, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be me. I'm going to do what I do. And then in a couple of years, maybe the year before my contract expires, I'm going to go up to Ryan Poles and go, hey, this one's going to be a lot bigger than the last one. And I'm fine
which is fair. Yeah, that's great. I think that's what he meant too. Because I think if he's threatening a holdout, you put him on the PUP list and then say, I don't have to necessarily pay you. I don't have to pay you if you're on the PUP.
And why would Ryan Poles lie? You heard in Ryan Poles' presser. He doesn't have to talk about it all if he doesn't want to, but you heard him in his presser say the reason he's on the non-football injury list is because he hurt himself working out at his house. He was working out. He was not under the Bears' watch when he sustained this injury. That's why he's on this list. But I don't think it has anything to do with the contract extension in any way, shape, or form. I don't think there's any holdout going on from Jaylon Johnson. And if it is, Jaylon Johnson's the dumbest human being on the planet. You signed this contract in March, bro. You just
barely
signed
a year old. Yeah.
Well, he was first among Bears and third among corners last year. I do personally, Jay, think he is top
I do
five
as well.
in
I
the
do
league.
as well.
I think he's one of the top shutdown corners in the league. When you look at what he did last year, 30 receptions allowed, 421 receiving yards allowed, 2 picks, 6 pass breakups, 10 games allowing 20 or less receiving yards. This guy is an absolute stud. He's a shutdown corner.
What makes him the number 3 overall?
When you put his numbers up against Sauce Gardner, his numbers are better. You put him against Trent McDuffie, his numbers are better. These guys are regarded as the best cornerbacks in the league. Whose numbers are better? Jaylon freaking Johnson. Just because ESPN puts their rankings out and wants to make him number 8 doesn't make it true, because ESPN sucks my ass. They don't know shit.
Made him number 20.
ESPN had him at number 8 on their list when it came out.
Yeah.
So
I think he is the closest thing to Darrelle Revis we've seen since Darrelle. You guys, he is a true, honest shutdown corner.
He is a shutdown corner.
They don't want to throw his weight. So Aaron Rodgers came out in an interview and said, I did not like playing against Jaylon Johnson. I don't like throwing the ball towards Jaylon Johnson. It's what's the most dangerous place you could throw the ball against the Chicago Bears. He said it out of his own words. At the time he was playing Jaylon Johnson, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Jaylon Johnson is Sean. Do me a favor, if you can, real quick, look up the numbers for the season prior. 2023.
Last year, that's why he got paid, because in
2023 he was absolutely amazing. And Relentless Mikey says
2023 was a career year for him, I believe.
Yes. Relentless Mikey said, don't put it on polls for you not negotiating. Well, I agree 100% with Relentless Mikey. Jaylon, you signed the contract. If anything, I'm ecstatic with what Poles did there. He definitely got underpaid, but that's good. That's good for Bears fans, because that means they can put more money elsewhere. It sucks for Jaylon Johnson, but he's the one who signed the dotted line. So
he only gave up 2 touchdowns too last year, Jaylon Johnson. Trent McDuffie gave up 6.
Sean, do you have
Trent McDuffie is regarded as one of the top 5 in the fucking league.
His numbers from 2023 were absolutely
insane. That was the year
one of the best in the history
of football. Yards.
Yeah, I think he gave up 172 receiving yards that season. That's just
in 2023. I don't have his yardage, but he had 31 total tackles, 4 picks, 1 pick 6, 10 passes defense, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. I'm trying to look for the yards allowed. I had it in here somewhere. I have so much damn shit.
2024, I think he was just under 500 yards allowed.
It was like 420.
You guys, in 20, it says right here on Google, in 2023, Jaylon Johnson gave up a total of 286 yards on receptions that season. 286 yards. There's guys, we've seen games with receivers who have 286 yards in one game.
Yeah.
We've seen it in one game. This guy in 17 games gave up, and he always faces the number one. Always. He's always on the number one. And he gave up less than 300 yards receiving on the season. He is 100% a top 5 corner.
I love this by Relentless Viking. Wait, JJ covering JJ with quarterback JJ. That's gonna be fun. Opening day.
Yeah, the only guy I would take over him right now is Patrick Surtain. It's the only guy in the NFL I would take over Jaylon Johnson. It's Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain is going to the Hall of
because
Fame.
I think Patrick
first ballot
Surtain does a little bit more than Jaylon Johnson.
Well, he baits you. He baits you.
Well, he also gets sacks.
He doesn't allow a lot of yards, but he'll also let you throw knowing he can intercept.
Who's that kid on Philly too?
Oh, they'll be coming up this year. They're
Well, those guys they're just getting started, man. Those kids they're kids. They're going to be amazing. Both of them.
What the hell's his name? Quinyon Mitchell and
Quinyon Mitchell and
oh god, who was the other guy? Oh my lord,
the other guy, the white boy.
Yeah, my daughter's boyfriend. I can't think of his name. Cooper DeJean.
Oh yeah, I thought I was waiting for you to say that. I'm like,
I'm sorry, dude. I'm only in Bears mode right now. I'm not in NFL mode, especially on.
I thought you were talking about I'm like, is there another corner? I'm not.
No.
Like,
Cooper DeJean really quick. I should. My daughter has a
pick six in a Super Bowl, dude. I think he had a much better year than Jaylon Johnson did.
Who?
Cooper DeJean.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, he had a rocky start, man.
He had a bad start to the season. He definitely put it together.
He's a kid. He's a kid. He's going to be really good. I'm not saying that he can't be better than Jaylon Johnson. He might be. I don't know. All we got to see was his rookie season. But yeah,
he did. He had 21 receptions. 21 receptions. He gave up 211 yards, but he only started 9 games.
Yeah, because he started early and sucked, and they benched him and they waited for him to NFL speed to slow down a little bit and brought him back in. But yeah, Cooper DeJean
he's going to be really good. I mean,
no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
You know what the problem I have is my daughter. I can't get him off her damn screensaver. She loves this guy, so we gotta get a bear that she can fall in love with. I tried with PCA. She thinks he's ugly as hell.
Well, you guys. Real quick, Erica has an update on the interview going on right now on CHGO. He says Poles is doing an interview right now with Hogan Johns on CHGO. He said Ben Johnson will address the Luther Burden situation tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I can't wait to hear what's going on with Luther Burden.
I'm with you, DJ Prophet.
I'm sick of the speculating. Everybody's like, this guy's holding out. This guy's an asshole. This guy's leg is broken. And let's just wait for Ben Johnson to tell us what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm with you. We had this rant, I think it was last week, about Hogan. Or no, that was on Saturday, wasn't it? On the Cubs show. Hogue, I used to like Hogue, and now Hogue's just turned into. He says a lot of dumb shit.
And, it's almost it's like mouth clickbait.
Yeah,
a lot of mouth
exactly.
Clickbait.
It's like, come on,
shock.
Man.
He's like a shock jock.
Whatever.
Kirby Joseph had a phenomenal year last year.
Kirby Joseph is awesome too. He's in that conversation for sure.
I mean, I keep finding more and more guys that are having better years than him, so I don't know what to tell you.
You know why Kirby Joseph had 9 interceptions? Because quarterbacks aren't scared of him. If you threw the ball to Jaylon Johnson more, I'm sure he.
Yeah, I mean that's like Diggs from the Cowboys, guys. Like Diggs from the Cowboys will have the most interceptions in the season. He'll also have 7 plays of 50-yard plus touchdowns he gives up. Like that's what's.
He was targeted 33 times and had 9 interceptions.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not good. He's a very good player.
Okay.
I mean, Jaylon Johnson's in the conversation for sure, man. No doubt about it.
Xavier McKinney had 30 targets and 8, an even better ratio.
Well, he's a safety.
He's
a free roam safety, so that's his job is to wait for the ball. I mean, that's what he does. He spies on the quarterback.
Or Jay, I'll tell you this right now. If you think that Kirby Joseph is more of an instinctive football player than Jaylon Johnson, we're going to have another conversation. Then he's not better than him because instincts are what make you good. His instincts are not better.
It's one of the things that make you
Real quick, did you guys hear the part of Caleb's interview where the guy's like, "Did you get a chance to watch any of the quarterback on Netflix?" And
He's
Caleb's like,
no.
"No, I didn't." And the guy asked him a question about the quarterback. He's like, "Yeah, I said I didn't watch it." And then another reporter's like, "Did you learn anything from not watching the quarterback on Netflix?"
Like, no. That was awesome.
DJ Prophet says Grody had the worst question to have been asked if Darnold was going to play left tackle. Ben addressed that multiple times already this offseason. Apparently, he was asleep each time. Ben let him off easy. Yeah, he did let him off easy. There was a couple. Another one. Somebody asked Dennis Allen about who just retired. Is the safety just retired? Played for the Saints for a long time.
Oh my God.
He's a C.
Honey Badger. The Honey Badger.
Yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, he's like, we just heard that Tyrann Mathieu retired. What impact did he have on you, Coach? Like, dude, are you kidding me right now? You're asking questions about Tyrann Mathieu. This is a Bears press conference, and they've started the training camp today, and you're asking about Tyrann Mathieu? Like, what are you doing?
You know what, though? I am glad that it's put to bed, because there are still people out there that say, we're going to move him over to left tackle. Guys, we have a 3-man battle for left tackle. Why are you going to move your future every year all-pro to left tackle, a position he doesn't play?
Listen, Dennis Allen came out today and said he wants to have cross-train everybody at every position. I trust Dennis Allen. I trust his coaching staff, so I'm not going to complain about it. But you guys, I've talked about on this podcast numerous times. I am not a huge fan of moving guys from position to position 3 or 4 years into their career. I don't think it makes any sense.
No, if you give a guy some snaps at a position, that's one thing. If you say, "Hey, you're no longer a linebacker, you're a,"
it just doesn't make sense. Like if that's the case, if you're like, this guy sucks so bad as a linebacker, we need to make him a defensive lineman, he probably shouldn't be playing in the NFL. That's just.
Did we talk about Dexter? I think we did, right?
Yeah, we did earlier.
Yeah, Javon Dexter moving positions. Like I said, I think ultimately the conclusion of that situation is Dennis Allen's just going to make everybody play every position. I don't think it has anything. I don't think they're like Javon Dexter's not a good enough 3 technique, and he's not going to play 3 technique.
That's really common on the D-line, though.
Yeah, I think they want. Yeah, 100%. It's the most common of any position in the NFL, right? These guys move around constantly. Yeah. But I think they just want Javon Dexter on the field as much as they can possibly get him. Whether that means defensive end, nose tackle, 3 technique. I don't think they give a shit. I think they think he's the most talented defensive lineman on this roster, and they're going to make sure he's on the field as much as they possibly can. Sean, what else you got for us?
I'm actually looking at this list that they put out for top cornerbacks, and I just have to disagree when last year J.C. Horn wasn't even ranked, and he's ranked higher than Jaylon Johnson. Christian Gonzalez is going into his second year. He wasn't unranked, and he is ranked higher than Christian Gonzalez. This is what I like. Fuck off. Come on, dude. Denzel Ward wasn't even ranked. Denzel Ward wasn't even ranked last year. He's the number 3 corner in the league all of a sudden. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I don't think Denzel Ward even went to the Pro Bowl, did he?
No, dude. Like, what the?
Yeah, maybe I'm biased, but just I can only go off the eye test because I don't watch every single team all 17 weeks of the season. But you guys, I watch Jaylon Johnson every single Sunday, and that guy is just absolutely scary. And I think he scares the shit out of opposing quarterbacks. And very rarely is a wide receiver playing against Jaylon Johnson going to have some huge day. That's very rare. But everybody has bad days, man.
He'll have a really good contract, his next contract. I'm sure of it. I don't see him getting worse. I hope he actually does much better in this defense because if they're coaching up all of the players, the other side of the field should hopefully be just as good as him, which is only going to make everybody better. I honestly think the interior of the defensive line is going to make the defense look a lot better than it probably is at certain positions. Because if you recall back in the day, the Ted Washington and tractor trailer days, those guys just basically took up time and space and got huge pressure, and it allowed for a lot of sacks that year. And I think that linebacking crew had like the most interceptions the Bears ever had. So I'm hoping that interior of the defensive line is what really elevates everybody's game. Because if you don't have time to throw the ball, the cornerbacks are going to look really good.
Yeah, there's no doubt. The best way to negatively impact the offense is to pressure up the middle. I mean, that's been proven in the NFL. Look how important the 3 technique is getting in the NFL. Pressure up the middle is what disrupts the entire timing of the offense. And I think the Bears are much better in the interior of that defensive line than they were last year. sure.
I got
They
some
should be
cute-
better by default.
I got some cute pictures. Look at that. Aw. I thought this was a really cool idea that the Bears came up with here.
Thanks a lot, DJ Prophet. We appreciate it, man. He says
What-
that's why he spends most of his time with 4-Star Chicago Sports instead of CHGO. He says they're as bad as ESPN, or Sean said they're as bad.
Thank you, DJ. Yeah,
Thank you.
I thought this was cool. When I grow up, I want to be Rome, and then Rome comes back with, when I grow up, I want to be DJ Moore.
And he says, I love Caleb Williams.
I love Caleb Williams. No, he goes, I love Disney and football. Oh, it was so awesome. I really love
That's family, Disney, and football, Sean.
Family Disney and football. Yeah. We actually do this with my daughter every year before her first day of school. So I thought this was pretty awesome that they did that today. And here, I got to say, I have a huge disgust. And DJ Prophet, I don't know what you do on Sundays as far as how you watch your football or take it in. But when ESPN is about to get the rights from NFL Network, or they're buying NFL Network and they're going to have the red zone now, that makes me want to throw up, because I'm sorry, ESPN ruins everything. They've ruined hockey, and now they're going to ruin football. Thanks, ESPN.
It's like a
Don't they do
monopoly.
Monday Night Football pretty much?
What you say?
It's like a monopoly. They're just buying everybody, man. It's
Yeah.
disappointing because ESPN is so political. Like, listen, I watch sports to watch sports. If I want to watch politics, I'll go watch Fox News or CNN.
They're owned by Disney. They have unlimited money.
I know. Like, I watch. There's sometimes I'm watching news.
I do
stations.
too,
I'm like,
DJ.
all right, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of the negativity. I'm sick of the news. I'm going to sports, ESPN, and I'm like, this is worse. This is actually worse. I'm going back to the news. Like, the ESPN is just, every piece of political propaganda that comes out of the United States is pushed by ESPN harder than any other news network in the nation.
However, if ESPN
just
would like
done
to
with
make
it.
an offer for 4-Star Chicago Sports, we will take
Yes,
it.
you guys, ESPN is awesome. I love it.
I gracefully accept.
Yeah.
You know what, though? It's just like that list that just came out, and I know they said coaches and execs were on it. I'm sure ESPN put their own spin on it, and the thing that just bothers me about them is they're East Coast biased. It doesn't matter. The Bears could be 17-0, and the Patriots could be 14-3, and they're like, "Oh, the Patriots are still the best team in the world, even though they have lost 3 games." And they come up with 10,000 reasons why, even though the team in front of them is undefeated. It doesn't matter. It's college basketball. It's baseball. It's really bad with baseball.
Sean,
with the Yankees and the Red Sox.
They're
A lot
based
of
in New
a lot of their
England.
rankings were
Yeah.
a joke. A lot of their rankings were laughable.
They're terrible.
Laughable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about the top 10 lists that we did on this show. A lot of them were laughable. Like, I mean, I think, who did they have in quarterback number? I think number 3. I don't remember who they had there, but I'm like, this is absolutely just a joke. This is laughable. It's a joke.
I think Brock Purdy's number 3. No, he was 7.
Yeah, I
Was
think
he?
didn't they have like
They have Brock Purdy.
did
on
they
the
have
list?
Jaden Daniels above Joe Burrow or something like that?
Oh yeah,
I
Jaden Daniels number 2.
I have to go look back at it, but I'm like, this
Oh
is
my
a joke.
gosh.
I mean, this is a guy. Joe Burrow threw 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns last year. Like, it's. I agree with Sean. It's just bias. Once they pick their favorite, they have these guys that they know make them the most money, and they're constantly going to push those guys as much as they.
Yeah,
possibly
I
can.
watch
It's
Call
always
of Duty.
going to happen.
I think they follow trends. If it's really popular on Twitter, they're
Yes.
going to be, oh, this guy is the best. Because you guys
If
don't
Patrick
think he's the
Mahomes
best.
was dating Taylor Swift, they'd be like, this guy is the best athlete ever to play sports ever in the history of the world. He puts LeBron James and Michael Jordan to shame. Like, he's
Aaron.
better than Tom Brady.
I'll be honest. Go to the No Man Network. Go to Just Another Year Bears. Go to Bears Country
Guys,
Podcast.
podcast or where it's at.
4-Star
Country,
Chicago
yeah.
Sports. Stay away from some of these guys that think they're good. I'll leave their name out of it. I don't want to make anybody upset, but you guys know who I'm talking about. Former employer of ours, I guess you want to say, or associate.
Well, and
but
even 670 the score, a lot of those
670
guys
the
have
score.
no idea what they're talking about.
Layla Rahimi is really the only one. I love Layla Rahimi. I think she is the most educated and most thorough with her thoughts and the things that she says and the way she
Her
comes
baseball
across.
breakdowns are unbelievable.
Dude, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you
She's
guys
really
hear
good.
Lawrence Holmes destroy Ryan Poles for his interview, for his presser? Like, he just destroyed him, and it's like, Dude, all the things that you want to hear about, or he wasn't open to questions after his presser. All the things
Swiss
you want to hear about.
sports, yes, I like Swiss sports.
He's going to go over those in the coming weeks here during training camp. This is the first day of training camp, Lawrence Holmes. Like, relax, bro. He's going to get all of it.
Now, though.
And
he knows how everything works.
And Lawrence Holmes wanted him to break down his own contract on 670. Like, no, he's not going to break down his contract, guys. That's between him and
he doesn't. First of all, he doesn't have to.
Yeah, those GM contracts aren't public.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to talk about that. We don't even know how many years he was signed for when he got to the Chicago. We're like, is it 4? Is it 5? He doesn't have to release any of that information to the public.
No, they released that extension because it shows a good, hey, we're aligned here. The coach and the GM are aligned. We don't need to worry about this down the road, guys. Everybody's in the same boat. That's basically why they released that.
Not to get too far off track, guys, but if you have a chance, do yourself a favor, and I mean this wholeheartedly, guys. Go check out one of the best interviews I've ever seen from any athlete in my entire life. Check out Scotty Scheffler's interview after winning the majors.
I love Scotty Scheffler.
Absolutely, just one of the most heart-wrenching, remarkable interviews I've ever seen. He basically talked about, at the end of the day, I love playing golf. I couldn't be more humbled or more privileged to be in the position I'm in. But at the end of the day, golf is not what fills my heart with joy. My family, my kids, my wife, that's what fills my heart with joy. I'm not taking anything away from the fact that I am a professional golfer. It's a dream of probably millions of other people's, but at the end of the day, it's golf. And I'm never going to share anything in my personal life on social media, because that's not what social media should be for. It should be about your accomplishments and not how you spend time with your family. And I could not agree with everything that came out of his mouth any more than I possibly.
And I'll be honest, I agree with you, DJ Prophet.
Yes,
Joni is the holy grail. But there's a guy on the Bears, because I've met him twice, and anytime you see him, he's with his kids and his wife, and you already know who that is. Who is it, boys?
DJ Moore.
You're damn right. The fucking GOAT.
Yeah, you guys, there's a lot of guys. I loved Jeff Dickerson before he passed. He was absolutely amazing. He was awesome. I used to like Hub Arkish a lot. He kind of went like senile at one point.
I was going to say,
the after show right now is good.
Yeah.
Which one?
The Bears after show now with Big Cat and Olin.
Yeah, and one more time before we get out of here, guys, doing this yesterday made my heart sing with happiness. Relentless Mikey, J2K, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. Anything that could help us grow a little bit and get some of our crazy, stupid thoughts out to the rest of the world is greatly, greatly appreciated. So thank you guys once again for doing this on that live presser, throwing 4-star Chicago sports in the chat. That was amazing, amazing, amazing. I love you guys. Thank you guys so very much for that. I can't express that enough. Thank you.
I agree with DJ Pro. I could not agree with you more, DJ Pro. He says Waddle is good, but Sylvie is hard to take sometimes. Yeah, sometimes Sylvie gets on these tantrums. I'm like, Sylvie, please, God, football.
Mike Mulligan needs to be put to pasture. That guy's a
God, I hate Mulligan.
He looks like a ghost. He can't complete a sentence. I don't know.
Dude, you want to know? You want to know what else is? David Haw, who I used to love and respect, is starting to turn into one of these shock jock guys. And I'm like, I don't even listen to them anymore.
It's because Mulligan the Wraith is stealing the life away from him, dude.
He's sucking the life right out of him.
He says the Wraith.
That's awesome.
All right, anything else you guys want to get to before we get out of here, man?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything that was in the news today.
We got one thing to go.
Yeah, you got
Green Bay! Fuck Green Bay! Fuck Green Bay! Fuck Green Bay! Fuck Green Bay!
Fuck Green Bay! Fuck Green Bay! Fuck Green Bay! Yes, sir!
that fucking bear growl there at the end is amazing. Yeah,
I love it.
And then you guys, real quick, everybody in the chat, we will get into some fantasy mock drafts at some point before the season starts to show you what kind of our strategy and the way we go. But we're gonna rank some of our receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, so on and so forth. But we just wanted to make this show all about the Chicago Bears because they're back in training camp. It feels like you can feel the season upon us, guys. It's coming. You're gonna start to see footage coming out of training camp, talking to all these, who's gonna be the first string, second string, third string, who's gonna be cut, who's gonna make the roster. It's just an exciting time to talk about Chicago Bears. It's been almost a month now since we've had any real news to talk about. So we wanted to make this show about you guys in the chat and about the Chicago Bears.
Bear-centric. Let's go.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Love you all, man.
Yeah, don't forget Brandon and Dustin burning the midnight oil tomorrow. They'll be on at 11:30. Catch them on your way to work. If you can't catch them at night, Kyle and I will be back for Saturday. We'll break down, hopefully not a disgusting rest of the Cubs week against the Chicago White Sox, because this Royals series left a lot to be desired. Kyle, we can get into that for so many things, so many ways. Very frustrating. This
not going to be a fun show. I'll tell you that right now. Saturday, there's going to be some disrespect, some shade thrown at the Chicago Cubs this Saturday.
Yes, for sure.
So White Sox, I think your brother said the White Sox are 5-1 since the break.
Yeah, but you guys, I will say real quick, I don't want to get down a whole Cubs rabbit hole down here, but once again, watching this game today when PCA hit that home run, just his name being mentioned with the likes of Barry Bonds and Babe Ruth and Joe DiMaggio and all these amazing legends, like PCA is 100% the real deal. And right now, as far as I'm concerned, unless Caleb Williams wins the Super Bowl, he is the number one best athlete in Chicago sports. So if we haven't already.
We got a little PCA Caleb Williams argument going on here.
Well, Sean, if Caleb Williams wins the Super Bowl, it's not even a question. He's the best athlete in Chicago right now.
I don't know.
Are you insane?
I mean, just because he wins a Super Bowl doesn't make him a better athlete than Pete Crow.
I'm talking about how meaningful he is to the city of Chicago. I'm not talking about what their height is, their speed, their athleticism. I'm talking about who's the most important athlete in Chicago sports. If Caleb Williams wins the Super Bowl, he is number one, bro.
I'm willing to bet you there are other.
It's easy for you to say that he's not because you've seen the Bears win a Super Bowl, you son of a bitch.
Here, I'll tell you this. You take PCA off the Cubs, how good are they going to be?
Not good.
Exactly.
You take Caleb Williams off the
team. You put Craig Krenzel back into the Bears.
I think we're on even plateaus here when it comes. Hey, how about we just say this? We're very blessed right now.
You guys, what I'm saying is it's been a long time since Chicago's had superstars all over the place. PCA, Connor Bedard, Caleb Williams.
In the national media, correct.
We've had conversations. Sure. And it's nice to be sports relevant in Chicago again. No
and I hate to say this because I hate the fucking White Sox so much, but Kyle Teal, he might turn into that guy on the South Side. Dude.
Every good Chicago sports team has a great Kyle.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you, Jay. You might want to get back on that bandwagon because the White Sox, they got the parts. They just got to put it
when
together.
They're other guys,
well, I'll have to give Jeff
breaking news.
Breaking news.
He's said several times, dude. I don't care about wins. I don't really care about selling tickets.
He has said that.
He just cares about making money. He does not care. They have like $80 million in salary, right? 60 million of it is between two guys. So the rest of the team is only $20 million.
Yeah, but they're actually a competitive baseball team. I think Ethan Katz was the right hire. I really do.
Did you see Jerry Reinsdorf? He's walking through the bleachers the other day, and the fans.
Chris Getz.
Hope he falls.
He was shaking his hand. No, everyone was shaking his hand. One dude grabs his shoulder. He turns around and looks at him and goes, "Hey, dude, sell the team." And Jerry's face out of time, dude.
All right, guys, let's not go down a baseball rabbit hole.
Until next week, until tomorrow, tune in for the bare minimum. We love y'all. Peace and bear down, everybody.
Bear down, guys.
Bear down.
Oh, God. Why did this shit start kicking?